Men, have you ever felt underestimated, dismissed, or ignored? The truth is, most of us have been there. But what if I told you there's a way to turn that underestimation into your greatest advantage? This isn't about manipulation or shortcuts. It's about mastering yourself in a way that leaves others regretting they ever doubted you. Stick around, because what you're about to learn will not only change how others see you, but also how you see yourself. By the end of this video, you'll know the 10 silent moves that will make anyone regret ever underestimating you. Welcome to the place where we don't sugarcoat the truth. This is for the men who are tired of being told to settle, play small, or constantly prove their worth to everyone around them. In today's world, men are handed outdated advice. Be nice, be agreeable, always seek approval. Guess what? Those scripts don't work. They leave you feeling frustrated and undervalued. Today we're flipping the script. This is about power, respect, and self-mastery. If you're ready to take control, rise above, and command respect without uttering a single word, this video is for you. But here's the deal. These silent moves aren't for the faint of heart. They require you to show up as your best self, cut the excuses, and step into the man you were meant to be. If you're ready for this transformation, drop a comment below saying, "Challenge accepted," and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Why? Because the more men who see this, the more YouTube pushes it out. Let's make this message accessible to every man who needs it. Now, dive right in. Number 1, the power of silent presence. Let's start with a truth that most don't want to hear. The loudest voice in the room is rarely the most powerful. In fact, it's often the opposite. The man who speaks less, but whose every word carries weight, is the one everyone listens to. Silence, my friend, is a language of power, and when you master it, you master the room. Imagine walking into a room full of chatter. Everyone is scrambling to make their presence felt, talking loudly, trying desperately to grab attention. But you walk in, say nothing, and let your calm, composed energy do the talking. People start noticing you, not because of what you said, but because of how you said nothing. That silence forces them to wonder, who is this guy? Why does he seem so unbothered, so in control? And that's the first step to commanding respect without begging for it. Let me give you an example. You've probably seen people overdo it on a first date, talking about their achievements, dreams, or even their breakfast choices. They think the more they say, the more impressive they'll seem, but it rarely works. Why? Because desperation shows. Now picture this. Instead, you ask meaningful questions, listen intently, and keep your responses brief but impactful. You leave them with more questions about you than answers. By the end of the conversation, they're intrigued, not because you told them everything about yourself, but because you left them wondering. Silent presence also applies in moments of confrontation. Let's say you're in a meeting and someone challenges your ideas. Most people would jump to defend themselves, blurting out justification after justification. But a person who understands the power of silence simply pauses, listens, and then speaks with intention. That pause before speaking, that's the moment where the power shifts in your favor. Number 2, master emotional control. Let's talk about emotional control, the skill that separates men who are respected from men who are overlooked. Picture this. You're in a heated argument with someone important, maybe your partner or your boss. They're raising their voice, emotions boiling over, expecting you to meet them at their level. Most people would take the bait, shouting back or reacting impulsively, but the man who truly understands power doesn't. He stays calm, listens, and when he finally responds, it's with clarity and control. Emotional control isn't about suppressing your feelings, it's about mastering them. When someone can't rattle you, they lose their power over you. This is especially true in relationships. Women, whether they realize it or not, often test men. It's not out of malice, it's instinct. They want to know if you can handle life's challenges without falling apart. If you crumble under pressure, they may see you as unreliable. But if you maintain composure, even in tough moments, you'll earn a respect that words alone can't buy. For example, imagine your partner accuses you of something unfairly. She's emotional, raising her voice, expecting you to react. Most men would rush to defend themselves, desperately trying to prove their innocence. But you stay composed. You look her in the eye, listen without interruption, and respond calmly. Instead of escalating the situation, you diffuse it. That response shows her that you're not just in control of the situation, you're in control of yourself. Emotional control isn't just for relationships, it's a life skill. Think about the most successful people you know. Do they react impulsively to setbacks, or do they adapt with grace? The ability to stay calm under pressure allows them to make smart decisions when others are losing their heads. Here's the truth. The more you master your emotions, the more control you have over your life. People will notice this, women will notice this, and respect will follow. Number 3, value your time like gold. Let's talk about time. It's your most valuable currency. Unlike money, you can't earn more of it. Yet so many people treat their time like it's limitless, giving it away to those who don't deserve it, wasting it on pursuits that don't serve them, and then wondering why they feel drained and unappreciated. If you want to be truly respected, you need to start valuing your time like gold. Think about your day. How much of your time do you give to people who don't respect you? How often do you say yes to things you don't want to do just to keep the peace? High-value men don't do this. They guard their time fiercely because they understand that every minute spent on the wrong things is a minute stolen from their goals, growth, and purpose. For instance, let's say someone cancels plans on you at the last minute. Most people would accept it, reschedule, and maybe even apologize for feeling upset. But not you. You might let it slide once, but if it happens again, you don't waste another second on that person. You don't argue, explain, or justify. You simply move on. That silence sends a message. My time is valuable. If you don't respect it, you won't have access to it. This principle applies to relationships too. Women are incredibly attuned to how you spend your time. If you're constantly available, always rearranging your schedule for them, they may subconsciously start to value your time less. But if you're selective about how you spend your time and who you spend it with, it sends a powerful message. You're a man with priorities, a man who doesn't give his time away freely. And trust me, that's attractive. Start treating your time like the scarce resource it is. Prioritize what matters most, your goals, your health, and relationships with people who genuinely value you. When you do this, you'll notice a shift. People will start respecting you more, not because you demand it, but because you've shown them that your time, and by extension your life, is worth respecting. Number 4, walk away without looking back. The ability to walk away without looking back is one of the most powerful moves a man can master. Why? Because it signals that you are not afraid of loss and that your worth is not tied to anyone else's opinion or presence in your life. The truth is, people, especially women, can sense desperation, and desperation kills attraction. A man who can walk away, who can leave a situation or a person without a second thought, is a man who commands respect. Picture this scenario. You're dating someone who constantly tests your boundaries. Maybe she's always late, flirts with other men in front of you, or dismisses your feelings outright. Most men would try to fix the situation by explaining, arguing, or pleading. But not you. You don't waste your breath. You don't explain why you're walking away. You simply leave. That silence, that absence is deafening. It lingers in her mind, forcing her to confront the consequences of underestimating you. Walking away isn't about playing games. It's about having standards and enforcing them. It's about knowing your value so deeply that you refuse to stay where you're not respected. Here's the key. When you walk away, do it with dignity. No tantrums, no bitterness, just quiet, confident action. That's what makes it so powerful. The psychology behind it. People want what they can't have. The moment you walk away, you become a challenge, a mystery, and nothing is more attractive than that. This principle applies not just to relationships, but to friendships and professional settings as well. When someone crosses a line and you calmly walk away, you send a message. I don't need this. I don't need you. My life moves forward with or without you, and that's a message they won't forget. In today's culture, men are often taught to chase relationships, validation, approval, but chasing only leads to exhaustion. Instead, master the art of walking away. It's not about giving up, it's about moving towards something better. When you walk away, you're not just leaving a situation, you're choosing yourself. And there's nothing more powerful than that. Number 5, unshakable standards. Having unshakable standards isn't just about what you expect from others, it's about what you demand from yourself. Here's the truth. The world will only treat you as well as you treat yourself. If you tolerate disrespect, people will continue to disrespect you. If you lower your standards to keep the peace, you'll end up with chaos. But when you set high standards and stick to them, you become a force to be reckoned with. In relationships, maybe you're dating someone who constantly cancels plans, tests your patience, or disrespects your time. Most men would let it slide, hoping things will change. But you communicate your boundaries clearly. This is what I expect, and this is what I won't tolerate. Here's the key. If the behavior continues, you enforce your standards. You walk away. No explanations needed. Unshakable standards aren't about being rigid or unreasonable. They're about protecting your peace and ensuring that your life is filled with people and situations that align with your values. And here's the secret. When you set high standards, the right people will rise to meet them. The wrong people will fall away. Either way, you win. This isn't just about relationships. It applies to every aspect of your life. In your career, are you settling for less than you deserve? Are you staying in a job that drains you because you're afraid to demand more? High-value men don't settle. They know their worth and aren't afraid to negotiate, demand better, or leave when their needs aren't met. A real-world example. Imagine you're in a workplace where you're constantly overlooked for promotions. Instead of complaining, you take action. You update your resume, network, and when the right opportunity comes along, you take it. You don't beg your current employer to value you. You show them what they're losing when you leave. The beauty of having high standards is that they act as a filter. They keep out the people and situations that aren't meant for you, leaving room for what truly aligns with your values and goals. And when you enforce those standards without apology, you send a message to the world. I know my worth, and I won't accept less. Number 6, control the narrative. Stop explaining yourself. Stop justifying your decisions. The moment you start over-explaining, you hand over your power. Think about it. When you're constantly trying to make others understand your choices, you're essentially asking for their approval. But a man who controls the narrative doesn't seek approval. He creates it. Imagine this scenario. You make a decision that someone questions. Maybe it's a career move, a relationship choice, or even something as small as declining an invitation. Most men would launch into a lengthy explanation, hoping to convince the other person that their decision was valid. But you keep it simple. You say, "This is what I've decided," and leave it at that. That silence leaves them wondering. It forces them to reflect on their own assumptions, and more often than not, it earns you respect. Controlling the narrative isn't about being evasive or secretive. It's about recognizing that you don't owe anyone an explanation for living your life on your terms. It's about understanding that your actions speak louder than words. When you stop over-explaining, you shift the power dynamic in your favor. You become the man who is sure of himself, who doesn't need to justify his choices to anyone. In relationships, let's say your partner questions why you've decided to spend the weekend working on your goals instead of going to a party. Instead of explaining yourself, you simply state, "That's what I've chosen to do." That calm, assertive response says more about your priorities and character than any long-winded explanation ever could. It shows that you're a man who knows what he wants and isn't afraid to pursue it. Here's a key insight. People are naturally curious. When you say less, they want to know more. When you don't reveal everything, you create an air of mystery. And mystery is magnetic. In a world where everyone is shouting to be heard, the man who speaks with purpose and precision stands out. The man who doesn't feel the need to explain every move he makes commands attention. So, the next time someone questions your decisions, remember this: silence is not weakness, it's strength, it's control. And it's your most powerful tool for shaping how the world sees you. Number 7, the strength of mystery. There's an undeniable allure to mystery, a magnetic pull that keeps people guessing, wondering, and invested. In today's world of constant oversharing, where every detail of people's lives is plastered across social media, mystery has become a dying art. And that's exactly why it's so powerful. A man who doesn't reveal everything about himself stands out. He becomes an enigma, someone others can't quite figure out. And let me tell you, people are drawn to what they can't fully understand. Imagine meeting someone who lays all their cards on the table during the first conversation. They tell you about their job, their relationships, their struggles, and even what they ate for breakfast. There's no suspense, no intrigue. Within minutes, you know everything about them. Now, think about someone who shares just enough to pique your interest, but leaves the rest to your imagination. You're hooked. You want to know more, to peel back the layers. That's the power of mystery. Mystery is particularly effective in relationships. Women, by nature, are curious. They love solving puzzles and uncovering what lies beneath the surface. When you're an open book, you remove that challenge. But when you share selectively and with purpose, you create a sense of intrigue that keeps them coming back for more. Here's a real-world example. You're on a date, and she asks about your past relationships. Most men would dive into a detailed account, hoping to impress or justify their experiences. But not you. Instead, you give a brief, confident answer. "I've learned a lot from my past, and it's made me the man I am today." That's it. No specifics, no elaboration. She'll be left wondering. And that curiosity? That's what keeps her invested. Mystery isn't about playing games or being evasive. It's about controlling the narrative and deciding what parts of your story you want to share. It's about recognizing that not everyone deserves to know everything about you. Think about the most intriguing characters in history or fiction. James Bond, Bruce Wayne, Marcus Aurelius. What do they have in common? They're not walking diaries. They reveal just enough to inspire curiosity, but never enough to lose their mystique. They let others come to them, seeking to understand them better. In today's relationships, the strength of mystery extends beyond words. It's in how you carry yourself, your body language, your tone, your composure. A man who doesn't give everything away leaves room for imagination. And imagination is where attraction lives. When someone has to wonder about you, they're thinking about you. And the more they think about you, the more they're drawn to you. But here's the key. Mystery must be authentic. It's not about crafting a fake persona or withholding information for the sake of it. It's about being intentional with what you share and understanding the value of keeping some things private. Your life isn't a reality show, it's a masterpiece, and you're the curator. Decide what's on display and what remains behind the curtain. When you master the art of mystery, you gain control over how others perceive you. You become the man who doesn't chase attention but naturally commands it. In a world full of noise, that quiet confidence is irresistible. Number 8. Purpose over validation. Let's talk about something that sets high-value men apart: their purpose. A man with purpose is unstoppable. He doesn't seek validation because he's too busy chasing his goals. He doesn't orbit around anyone, not a boss, a friend, or a romantic partner, because he's building his own universe. And that, my friend, is the essence of true power. Think about the men you admire most. Are they the ones who spend their days seeking approval, constantly asking, "Am I good enough?" Or are they the ones who move with conviction, pursuing their dreams unapologetically? The answer is obvious. The world respects men who respect themselves, and self-respect starts with having a purpose. Here's where most men go wrong. They make someone else, often a romantic partner, the center of their world. They think that by bending over backward to please, they'll win admiration. But the truth is, the more you orbit someone, the more you lose your gravitational pull. And once you lose that, you lose respect. Imagine this. You're in a relationship, and you constantly put your goals on hold to accommodate your partner's needs. At first, she might appreciate your sacrifice, but over time, she'll start to see you as less. Why? Because you've signaled that her life is more important than yours. And no one, man or woman, respects someone who abandons their purpose. Now flip the script. You're a man on a mission. You have clear goals, and you're relentlessly pursuing them. You make time for your partner, but you don't compromise your purpose. You're not afraid to say, "I can't make it tonight. I have something important to work on." That conviction, that dedication, it's magnetic. It shows you're not just existing, you're thriving. Purpose doesn't just make you more attractive, it gives your life meaning. It's what gets you out of bed in the morning, what drives you when things get tough. Without it, you're just drifting, hoping someone else will give you direction. But with purpose, you become the captain of your ship. Say you're passionate about fitness. You've set a goal to hit the gym 5 times a week and transform your health. Now, someone in your life wants you to skip workouts to spend more time with them. Most men would cave, thinking they're being nice. But you stick to your plan. You say, "This is important to me and I need to stay committed." That decision isn't selfish, it's self-respecting, and it sets a standard that others will follow. Purpose isn't just about grand goals. It's about living intentionally and making choices that align with your values. Whether it's advancing your career, building a business, or mastering a skill, your purpose keeps you grounded. And when you're grounded, you don't need anyone else's validation. You validate yourself. Here's the beauty of it. When you prioritize your purpose, the right people will support you. They'll respect your dedication and be inspired by your drive. The wrong people, they'll fall away. Either way, you win. In a world full of distractions and people constantly seeking approval, a man with purpose is a rarity. He stands out. He commands attention without asking for it. So if you take one thing from this, let it be this. Find your purpose, pursue it relentlessly, and never let anyone, no matter how important they seem, take you off your path. When you make your purpose your priority, everything else falls into place. Your confidence grows, your relationships improve, and your life becomes a testament to what's possible when you live with intention. And that, my friend, is how you become truly unstoppable. Number 9. Resilience in adversity. Life will test you. People will test you. Even women, consciously or unconsciously, will test you. These challenges aren't acts of malice, but natural filters to separate the weak from the strong. How you respond to adversity defines your character. Are you the man who crumbles under pressure, or the one who rises silently and relentlessly? Resilience is the hallmark of high-value men. The quieter you overcome challenges, the louder your victories will echo. Imagine a scenario where everything seems to go wrong, losing a job, a relationship ending, or an opportunity falling through. Many men would vent their frustrations, seeking sympathy or reassurance. Some might post their struggles online, hoping for validation, but that's not the path of a resilient man. Instead, a resilient man takes the hit, processes it internally, and starts rebuilding silently. No announcements, no pity parties, just quiet, determined action. Think about it. When others see you emerge stronger after adversity, it's impossible not to respect you. You don't need to advertise your struggles or prove your resilience to anyone. Your results will speak for themselves. That's why resilience is so attractive, not just to women but to everyone around you. It signals that you're dependable, unshakable, and capable of weathering any storm. For example, if a partner decides to leave, most would expect you to beg, plead, or fall apart. Instead, you let her go, focusing on self-improvement. Hit the gym, advance your career, and build a better life. Months later, when she sees you thriving, she'll regret underestimating you, not because you tried to prove anything, but because you didn't need her validation to succeed. This principle applies to every aspect of life. When co-workers doubt you, friends question your choices, or the world feels against you, your quiet perseverance is your greatest weapon. Resilience isn't about never failing, it's about refusing to stay down. It's about turning every setback into an opportunity to grow stronger. Life isn't fair, and it will challenge you in unpredictable ways. But you always have a choice. Let challenges define you, or define yourself by how you respond. A resilient man takes responsibility for his life, even when circumstances are beyond his control. Women respect a man who remains composed when life gets tough. They want someone who handles challenges with grace, not someone who collapses under pressure. Resilience isn't about suppressing emotions or pretending to be invincible. It's about owning your struggles and working through them with dignity. It's about showing the world and yourself that nothing can break you. When you embody resilience, you inspire others. People are drawn to your strength, not because you boast about it, but because it's evident in everything you do. It shows in how you carry yourself, how you speak, and how you handle setbacks. Resilience isn't just a quality, it's a way of life. Live it, and you'll become a man who commands respect effortlessly. Number 10. Lead without seeking permission. Leadership isn't about a title or position. It's about action, decisiveness, and inspiring others. High-value men don't wait for permission to lead. They take the initiative and show the way. True leadership isn't about domination or control. It's about setting an example, making decisions with confidence, and taking responsibility for the outcomes. A man who leads without hesitation exudes confidence and competence. In today's world, where indecision is rampant, this kind of leadership is rare and incredibly attractive. Think about your daily life. How often do you defer to others, waiting for someone else to take charge? Perhaps it's at work, in your social circle, or in relationships. Many men fall into this trap, mistaking hesitation for consideration. But when you hesitate, you send a clear message. I'm not confident enough to take charge. That hesitation is costly. Now picture this. You're planning a date. Instead of asking, "What do you want to do?" you say, "Be ready at 7. I've got something planned." That simple statement shifts the dynamic, showing decisiveness, thoughtfulness, and leadership. Women notice this. They want a man who can make decisions, not someone who relies on them to guide the relationship. Leadership extends beyond relationships. In your career, are you the person who waits for opportunities or the one who creates them? Leaders don't wait for perfect circumstances. They make the best of what they have, seeing opportunities where others see obstacles. When they make decisions, they own the results, whether they succeed or fail. For example, during a meeting where a problem arises, most people hesitate, waiting for someone else to speak up. A leader steps up, offers a solution, and takes charge. Even if the solution isn't perfect, the willingness to act sets them apart. Leadership isn't about always being right. It's about being willing to act. Indecision is often more damaging than making a mistake. When you lead without seeking permission, you inspire confidence in others. They trust your judgment because you trust yourself. In relationships, leadership doesn't mean controlling your partner. It's about guiding the relationship with clarity and purpose. It's about being the rock they can rely on, the man who provides direction without needing constant reassurance. Here's the secret. When you lead confidently, others naturally follow. They trust your decisions because they see your conviction. Leadership is a choice. It's not about waiting for someone to hand you authority. It's about claiming it through your actions. When you lead without seeking permission, you become the man others admire, respect, and trust. Final thoughts. These principles aren't just strategies. They're a mindset, a way of living that sets you apart. Master these silent moves, and you won't just command respect. You'll transform how others see you, and more importantly, how you see yourself. Success isn't about proving others wrong. It's about proving yourself right, living a life aligned with your values, goals, and vision. When you do that, respect isn't something you chase. It's something you attract. If this message resonated with you and you're ready to step into your power, drop the words "Silent Power Wins" in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Why? Because the more men who see this, the more lives we can impact together. Let's build a community of high-value men who lead, inspire, and thrive.